All right, Sean, we hear a lot of golf instruction, right? Talking about turn, rotation, tilt, all that. And a lot of it's really centered around the lower body, which is certainly important in the golf swing. But there's a lot less information about how the upper body works. I think a lot of it stems from, well, if you move your lower body right, the upper body's gonna kind of tag along, but it's not really the case.
No, it's not. And there's some detail in there that it's not just turn and turn. There's a lot more detail to it. In this video, we're going to talk about what we see with some of the best players in the world and how to take what they do and use those movements and motions to add to your swing, which you're definitely going to be able to do.
That's exactly right. So we're going to show you, with all the tour data that we've collected over the years, how to move the upper body for the perfect upper body movements. All right, Sean, we're gonna, just like we did with the lower body video, we're gonna talk about ways that, how the upper body should work, really from setup all the way through the swing. And we're gonna show some drills how to make sure that happens.
Cool.
So again, at setup, we want that kind of over the fence look to it.
Yeah, exactly. So this is the fence here.
Yep.
I'm gonna bend my upper
Little
body.
picket fence right here.
I'm gonna bend forward over the fence instead of sitting on a stool like you used to hear years ago. Because when you do that, you don't have enough forward motion, forward flex of the upper body. The ball's down there. I've got to point my body in a direction that when I swing, my arms go down toward the ball.
That's right. We don't really want the chest way down, butt way out. We want it nice, like you said, comfortable from a down the line view. Athletic is the key here.
Yeah, so you would never squat under your heels, and I don't want to be straight-legged onto my toes. Very little knee flex, bend from the hip joints forward. That puts my upper body pointed toward the ground. Fingertips about at the kneecaps. Put your hands together.
Right, so we see roughly around a 40 to 50 degree range for most golfers down the line with the spine angle. Now,
yeah, with like a mid-iron.
Yeah.
Like a middle-of-the-road club.
from the down the line. Now, what's interesting that a lot of golfers don't understand is that the right shoulder is lower because the right hand is lower on the grip for a right-handed golfer, right? But it's not tilting the spine that way. The overwhelming number we see when we look at pro golfers is this spine angle right at 90 degrees.
Just neutral.
The shoulders can tilt, right? I can tilt independently. I don't have to move my spine to get my right shoulder lower.
Yeah, so like Mike is saying, just let the right hand be lower. Don't slide the left hip forward to get that, which is why everybody gets that left hip over the foot. That affects the pivot going.
Because that's really going to have an effect on what happens after this, right?
Everything matters.
Yep, so very neutral setup is what we're after.
Yeah, and basically, for all intents and purposes, fairly square shoulders.
Fairly square shoulders.
So shoulder square, which means the eye line will be square. That gives me a good chance to start moving the club away, correct?
Really, so if I'm talking to you there watching this video in the camera, I'm pretty much in my upper body posture, minus a little forward bend that it's easy to forward bend. Doesn't take a lot of, it's amazing how many golfers we'll see, we'll talk to them and then they get in posture and then it all changes just from getting down to the ball. So we want to keep that the same.
Yes, no doubt. Okay, now
let's talk about in the backswing now how the rotation and tilt start to happen.
Okay, so I'm going to cross my arms with the club here. Actually, you know what? Let's do something a little bit bigger.
A little easier for you guys to see.
This is just a Randy Myers stretch pole. David Toms turned me on to this. He worked with Randy over the years at CION. He's a fitness guy at CION. He's great. He has this stretch pole that you can put in your bag. I don't make any money off this, but I just think it's a good product.
It's a great tool.
It's telescopic, and you kind of twist it back together again. Now it's solid. So I'll put it here, actually.
Yep.
Okay? This gives me something a little bigger visual for you guys. So basically at address, it's going to be a little bit tilted just because of the shoulder. But what I want to do on the backswing is make very little lateral with my upper body, right?
Correct. Face the camera showing that.
I don't want a lot of movement this way. You might get a little bit, just maybe a half a head. I always say half a head, maybe.
There again, if we look at that shirt tag, right? It's going to get closer to the target than it is farther away from the target.
So in your initial move, you might have a little bit of motion away, but as I turn, my shirt tag is I'm going to turn around my shirt tag, and that shirt tag is going to be a little bit closer to the target than when I started, and I'm going to have my shoulders around 90 degrees.
That's exactly right. Now, to accomplish that, that forward bend that we talked about at address has to go away.
Yeah, so at the top of the swing, I basically have zero forward bend.
Right, so if you just raise back up in a talking posture, he's not forward bent anymore like he was at address. If you did forward bend, that's what the backswing would look like.
Yeah, I tell people, you don't stay in forward bend or you would look like this.
Right, we see that a lot of times with golfers who really struggle with the arms in the backswing because they're literally bending into their arms And they'll come in and say, I can't rotate anymore, I can't make a big enough turn. Yeah, because you're running into yourself.
The spine angle is constantly changing. It doesn't really, there's no thing as maintaining your spine angle.
Right.
You're bending 3 dimensions all the way back. You're left tilting as you're turning, as you're extending. Left tilt, turn, extend, left tilt, turn, extend, and you finally get to the top. But if you want an easy way to do it, Mike, just hold my head and turn around your shirt tag, and your body's forced to make those positions.
That's right.
So that gives you the right idea of what the tilts, turns, and bends do on the backswing. And when you do that correctly, it gives you a really tight motion. You don't want to be wobbling this all over the place, especially going back, because it puts you in such a bad spot to make the downside.
Now let's talk a little bit more about the shoulder tilt now with that.
Yeah, so here I am here.
Now again, remember from the lower body video, this right leg is straightening, the right hip is moving up, while the left knee is bending and the left hip is moving down. We want to see the mirror of that. Right, or the same thing happening with the upper body.
So let me have that club just for a second so I can give a reference point. So as I go back, right, you're going to see when I get to the top how tilted that is toward the ground, right?
Right shoulder higher, right hip higher, left shoulder lower, left hip lower.
So if you have a setup here with, let's say, a 7-iron, I think this might be this is an 8. So at the top, you're not ever going to really point your shoulders at the ball. That's a myth.
That's too much.
That's too much shoulder tilt, right? You're going to turn them in a window just outside the ball. That would be too flat. That would be too forward.
Probably about a 3-4 foot window sometime beyond the ball you want to be in.
And listen, for all intents and purposes, you want to turn 90 degrees to your spine. So if I was standing straight, the shoulders would turn level. If I'm 40 degrees forward, at the top I'm going to be 40 degrees side bent.
And you can see where that shaft is pointing about 2.5, 3 foot mark.
Yeah, so that's a really good image for you guys that have been either trying to turn level or trying to turn steep to the ball. Somewhere between those two will get you in a really good spot to complete the backswing and have like a tour-like top of the backswing.
That's exactly right. It gives you a great jumping off point for the downswing, which we'll talk about right now. Now, let me just say one thing about the shoulders. Because again, we talked about the individual range of motion they do. When you're going back, and I used to do this, I was really bad and have tears in both shoulders because of that. When you go back, a lot of golfers are going to want to shrug this right shoulder up.
Yeah.
Right? That's a very weak
position.
I'm thinking of the word vulnerable position.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
For the shoulder to be in. Get it up here, and it's really weak, and then you're going to usually do the same thing in the downswing. You want these shoulders to move down. Keep them down and packed in their sockets as you turn.
Yeah.
Because we're going to need that on the downswing.
Yeah, so Mike makes a good point. Yes, we're talking about more rib cage and torso, but the shoulders are very important how they move in the socket.
That's right.
We'll probably do another video, a lot more detail on that, but like Mike said, be very wary of you pulling the shoulder up into the socket, because that gives you a lot of poor patterns with the arms and the club.
And mention that because when you're doing this and you're getting that shaft pointing out there in the ball, we see guys just do that to get that thing pointing at the ball, and that's not where you want to be.
No, absolutely not. So that gives us the backswing.
Yes.
Okay, so I'll give you back that.
So we got our right shoulder higher. We've got little to no forward bend.
Okay, so here I am here.
Got a lot of left tilt, left bend, side bend, however you want to say it. Now we're going to transition. And if you see from one of our pros versus ames video, again, that's why I mentioned the shoulders. These shoulders both move down as he starts to unwind.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to make a little point there, right in transition. This is one of those small, subtle moves that we see with the best players in the world in gears. Once they get to the top, whatever their shoulder tilt is, okay? Let's say I'm pointing at Mike's foot. They all compress it a little bit more in the downward direction as they start turning. That keeps the left shoulder down and around instead of popping it up in the air early.
A lot of these good players will describe it as they're just doing a little crunch.
Yeah, it's almost like a digging in with the left shoulder a little more towards the left leg. As you start making some lateral and some rotation, that keeps the shoulder low, which keeps you from tilting back early, which is a problem in the swing, right?
You see a lot of golfers lower the arms in the swing just simply by tilting the shoulders.
It would look like this.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's the first part, right?
Yep.
Left shoulder lowers a little, start to rotate back. By the time the club gets into this delivery, where would you like to see the rotation of the body, Mike?
When the club's about parallel to the ground is usually when the upper body is back to square.
Okay, so let me show you how that looks. So there's a couple things that happen here from the top to here.
Again, we're talking chest, not necessarily the shoulders. The shoulders are always lagging close to the chest.
Right, so let's talk about the torso basically. So to the top, that little crunching move downward. I'm gonna let my right arm swing down, but I'm gonna turn my chest back to square by the time the club's right here.
Yep.
My hips will be a little more open, but let's talk about the chest. Not only does it get back to square, at that point it also gets back into about the same forward flex it had at address.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So not only do you have to add in the turn, you got to add in the forward flex, and last but not least, what does it do as far as forward?
Oh, we regain that forward flex, absolutely.
Yeah, and then what about the lateral, I should say?
Oh yeah, it starts to right side bend.
Yep, you go this way, right? So I have the chest moving over top of the ball, and then this last section of the swing, I get some right side bend. So now the right side of this tilts toward the ground,
Yeah.
right? Into the ball. So
It's very much like the backswing, just now we're tilting and side bending to the opposite side, the right side.
right, and let's rewind just for a second. How much lateral do you see with the tour players you guys work with, or we all have in this?
Upper body?
Yeah.
Upper body anywhere from 3 to 4 inches,
So that's important, and I
Yes.
don't think it's talked about enough.
but it happens early.
Yeah, most of you guys are trying to keep your head behind the ball, like really trying to keep your head behind the ball. There's a good player move that has lateral. Both the upper and lower has some shift, and I didn't realize that. You know, growing up, I was trying to keep everything behind the ball with my upper.
We actually literally just before we started rolling the cameras, literally just had that same question on Instagram, is when I shift laterally, I can't keep my head behind the ball,
Yeah.
right? It's
So-
a big issue.
So interestingly enough, there's some lateral early
Yep.
to get the head kind of feeling in front.
Yep.
But when the lower body starts to kick in, that gets the head about back where it started again.
Right. So if we were to project, and we'll show you on the screen here with gears, the middle of the chest, right, the three-dimensional middle of the chest actually moves out on top of the golf ball,
If I had a line dropped
Yeah.
out here.
just projecting right on the ground, move out in front of the golf ball. Then as it's coming in, it's going to basically fall back just a little bit, just behind the golf ball.
Kicks back just a little because when Mike presses up with the left side of his lower body, that gets the tilt back,
That's exactly right.
which is way different than trying to get the tilt at the top and maintaining it.
So if you're a shifter, you got that, right? You've watched the videos, you understand shift, and you're hitting the ball with your head way out in front of it, you're missing the side bend part,
Exactly
right?
right.
So it's a shift, bend, side bend as it comes down.
Yeah, and this sounds like a lot of like patting the belly or rubbing the
Right.
rubbing the belly, patting the head.
There you go.
But if you do these things
Easy
in
for us to say.
slow motion, watching yourself in a mirror or filming your swing
Right.
in slow motion, you can start to learn to fit these pieces in as you're making these little shots, and then you can start maybe just chipping a few balls, feeling what the body does.
Right, and to really distill this down to even simpler terms, on the backswing, your right side is stretching, getting longer. On the downswing, your left side is stretching, getting longer. If you think in those simple terms, you're going to pretty much get these movements correct.
Yeah, now let's just cover the gamut here.
Okay.
So let's say we made it to impact.
Okay.
Okay. The shoulder line is going to be pretty square.
Pretty square.
But because I'm side bent, my torso, the line, my buttons aren't pointed at the ball, they're pointed in front of the ball.
Chest is going to be in front
So
of the ball, the shoulders are
Chest
not.
is open, shoulder line from above is pretty square, and that's an important distinction. You don't want to spin your shoulders open. I see people
Right.
trying to do that all the time.
There's a
right?
lot of toe balls from there.
So shoulder line pretty square, maybe slightly open, but the chest is rotated open. From there, the problem people have is they stay in forward flexion.
Right.
You see Mr. Havenkamp. We watched Caddyshack last
That's
night when
right.
Mike came into town. Mr. Havenkamp stays in forward flex, right?
Right.
And it doesn't look too good. So from here, the drill I give people is to hold impact and then stretch their chest to the sky like that.
That's right.
So that's the extension part in the follow through. You go from flexed to extended.
Chest to the sky,
Yep.
backswing.
Down to the ground halfway
Yes.
through.
Like our good buddy Monty Schleimbaum says, he gets his belt buckle pointing down,
Yeah.
right?
That
Down.
points Mike's iron. If you had an Ironman light,
Here we go with the Iron Man. Yeah.
love Ironman. He points the. I love the R8 car. We talk about that too. You point the light down at the ground, then you point it to the sky again.
Yep.
It's
exactly
not
right.
just turn and turn. It's point the light away, down at the ball, to the sky. Add in
right.
some side bend to that. You've got yourself world-class upper body movement.
That's exactly right. And if start with the lower body movement, because if that's not right, this is going to be very difficult.
Stack them.
Yes, you get the upper body working correctly on top of correct lower body movements, the golf swing becomes very simple. And then it's just a matter of the club finding its path of least resistance. You're not going to have to think about all this, I promise you. once those things start to blend and mold and fold together, and then you're gonna be off to the races with a really repeatable, simple golf swing. Now, let's talk about some drills where we can kind of help them train on this. All right, Sean, the drills now for the perfect upper body motion. So we're gonna go a little new school and a little old school. We'll first start with old school. We got just a classic drill because it works like a champ.
Yeah, so.
And we're gonna, what are we talking about here? We're talking about that forward bend going into side bend.
Yeah, or it's forward bend going into extending the body.
Extending.
And give you all three.
Yes.
Gives you all three. So hands together.
Losing the forward bend.
Yeah, hands together, you're bent forward this way, right?
Yep.
Hey, I want you to keep your left hand where it is. I want you to turn your right hand over, put your right hand over your head.
Yep.
And they should line up.
Yeah, ideally. So minimum, you want that right shoulder to disappear behind your head. If you can, you really want to stretch this chest and have this right shoulder appear on that side of your head. But you can't cheat it with this left hand.
Because you can't, if you stay in forward bend, you can't.
That's right.
You've got to extend your upper body.
Or we don't want this one moving this way.
Yeah, so your wings stay like this.
Yep.
Okay, so stretch back, and then what you could do.
So left hand goes lower.
Stays low.
Yep. Right hand goes high.
And you could even come down to impact and just practice impact that way.
Yep.
Your right wrist will be bent back a little bit. It's such a great way to feel the extension, the reflex, and then starting to rotate into this left arm. Without, it's impossible too to make a bad motion, right?
Right.
You have to come down pretty much in a good spot with your right arm to do this drill.
You're not gonna go here and then drop it.
It's a great drill.
You're gonna miss this. You gotta come right back to the clap.
Stuff that you can do at your house, in the gym, good to stretch your body out, feeling that a little bit.
That's exactly right. Now let's talk about a little more of a new school drill. Let's talk about some lateral motion now with the upper body. And I'm gonna come, you'll face the camera.
Yeah.
I'm gonna come on this side. So I'm gonna hold my hand out, about an inch or so in front of his head. I'm not gonna hold his head, I'm gonna hold an inch or so in front of his head.
So you kind of need a buddy to do this.
Right.
He's gonna tell me if I move away too much, and too much would be more than a half a head.
Right.
So I'm gonna probably stay fairly neutral, right?
Yep.
Coming down though, I'm gonna shift my lower body and upper body forward a little bit, and I should hit his hand, but not crash through his hand.
And it should be at about this left arm parallel.
Yeah, so up, little shift, and then from there I'm lightening up on his hand. I might peel away from it a tiny bit to end up back where I started. So that's the real story. If you took a picture of my top of my backswing and my impact, it would look like I just kept my head in the same spot.
Right.
It's like two cars going into a tunnel. They both come out, but we don't know what happened in there, right?
And there absolutely is lateral movement with the head.
Yeah, so that drill shows you that, okay, there's a little bit of lateral and then back. It's not just keep your head dead still.
That's right. And Jack Nicklaus talked about he used to have his head hold, and I've actually seen some guys with helmets tied to the wall and this and that.
Yeah.
It's a very restricted way to do it. When you take those things off, they don't really work that way.
Work for Jack, but not everybody's Jack.
Right. There was only one.
And there was actually only one. Okay, so that gives us drill.
That gives us our forward bend, side bend, our forward bend, left side bend. Now we're going to talk about the right side bend. Now this is going to be a little fun. We're going to play a little t-ball. Now I grew up not playing t-ball in baseball, so Sean's going to do this drill.
Played some t-ball and baseball. So this is the ball. The object ball is the ball on the ground, right? If I'm going to play a golf shot, but I'm really going to be hitting this one with this drill. So I'm going to set up, and then I'm going to take the club across my shoulders, right? And we've already pre-heightened this tee to where my shoulder plane would be, right? If I take it up and come over the top with the shoulders, let's say, and don't have enough side bend, I'm going to whiff that ball, right? So I've got to get a couple practice swings in here and feel where this is and just kind of tap it, and that makes me feel where I would be, the ball would actually be right about there.
Yes.
So that once I do that and get to that spot and just drop my arms down, that's pretty good impact position, right?
Yes.
That's where I want to be if I was going to hit a ball. So it's not taking the shaft toward the ball with this drill, it's actually outward a little bit.
Yeah, and this tee, it's kind of just low. It's about crotch high or hands high.
Yep.
About pocket high, and you don't want it up by your waist. You don't want it down by your knees. You want it kind of just below your waist.
Yeah, and I've got an 8-iron that puts it in a good spot. And if I just drop the club down, that's in a good spot. You can even chip a ball from there. I mean, you could set something up in your garage.
You can get just a little piece of 3/4 PVC pipe.
And you ain't got to hit a ball off it. I mean, we're doing a video and trying to explain things. But even if you just get the image of your
tennis balls,
shoulders being there, you might break something in your garage if you try it at first. But if I just drop my arms down, and just to learn, now I know my arms are swinging down and the shoulders move on a little different plane. That's an interesting like separation, right?
Exactly
Everything
right.
doesn't move on the exact same plane of motion.
No.
Shoulders are a little more this way, the arms are a little more downward, and all that blends together with the hips even a little bit more level than the shoulders, right?
That's exactly right. Exactly right. So combine all these, go back and maybe rewatch the perfect lower body swing video.
Stack it.
Add these drills, layer these drills together, so you really start to hone up. And again, this makes the arm movements and the club movements infinitely easier to do.
If you want more compression on your iron shots, more tour quality, solid iron shots every time you go out to play, we created a free video just for you. In the pinned comment below, you're gonna find a link. Click on the link, you're gonna be taken to another page, you're gonna enter your name and your email address. Once you do that, you're gonna be taken instantly to the free video training where you're gonna learn our #1 go-to drill to get more compression on your iron shots, which is gonna allow you to hit more greens and have more fun playing the game. If you enjoyed today's video, go ahead and give us a like, give us a thumbs up. Also, if you have a question about the video or there's a topic you want us to cover in a future video, leave it down in the comments below. We read every single comment and we respond to them, and that's how we create new content for you in the future. Now, if you haven't already, go ahead and click the subscribe button so you know exactly when one of our new videos comes out.